Hey everybody, welcome to Clarity Tarot. Today's reading is going to be What Don't You See About Yourself? So I think this will be pretty insightful and fun, hopefully. Observe the piles, pick which one's calling out to you. Could be more than one. And we have pile 1 with the Palo Santo, pile 2 with these little earrings, and then pile 3, the throat coat cough drop. I'm almost over this crazy cold. I actually even got a COVID test because it was taking me forever to get better, but it's negative. I'm feeling much more normal now. So yeah, see you at your reading. Okay, pile 1 with the Palo Santo. Let's look at what you don't see about yourself. So we have the Artist. This is a special card in the Ethereal Visions deck. Ace of Cups. 5 of Wands. The Star. The Hanged Man. And the Hierophant. And then for the message we have, You Give Me Butterflies. Interesting. Okay. So what you don't see about yourself. Well, first of all, there's 4 major arcana cards here out of 7. So I'm getting the sense that whatever I'm about to say, you might be like, oh, that might be true right now, but that's not like a thing about me. It's just circumstantial, or it's because it's the summertime, or with this many major arcana, it's more of a stable thing in your life than you might care to believe. So I just want to say that first. And the message that's coming through is you don't see just how much people are drawn to you, how they see your creative and loving nature, that you are quite literally a star. I mean, look at this person here. There's just something kind of dreamy about them and kind of pulls you in. And I think that's how you affect other people. Also, like with the You Give Me Butterflies, I'm getting that the people almost kind of want to impress you. And so when you step into a room or a social group, you're the person that everybody's eyes are on. They're trying to talk to you, they're trying to impress you. And there might be kind of this unspoken vibe within the group that everybody's kind of vying for your attention. But I'm not getting that you're like a super attention-seeking person. I think you're very grounded within yourself for the most part. Actually, like a little bit flowy. So grounded might not be exactly the right word, but you're flowy, you're creative, and you're in your own world. That's what it is. You're not really particularly paying attention to much else that's around you other than whatever will help you look at things from a different perspective. And you can be pretty traditional, maybe a little stoic. I mean, I think this is Pocahontas from this deck, the Hierophant, or Sacagawea. Actually, I should look that up because very different characters. I love this deck. It's the Terror of the Divine, and every card is associated with a particular like folk lore or fairy tale or historical reference. White Buffalo Woman wasn't either of them, not Sacagawea and not Pocahontas. So a divine figure who shares the rules, rites, and rituals to follow as a community. She encourages comfort and support of the group. So, yeah, very loving person, very creative, and you draw people to you without really even trying. And you all, it might be hard to see about yourself. Well, obviously it is, because the question is what you don't see about yourself. But think about those times in your life where you've gone into a group and there's just kind of this sweet person that has like this really good energy to them. You can't quite put your finger on it. You don't know what it is about them. But you want to be around them. You want to understand more about them. You want to hear their ideas. You want to give them yours. And you might notice a lot of other people being drawn to that person too. So the message coming through here is that is you. You are that person, which I think is pretty lovely. I just want to see if there's anything. God, is there anything I missed in this reading for pile 1? Something that they don't see about themselves. Another major arcana. We have the World and the Tower. Ooh. 2 major arcana. Yikes. The World and the Tower. So this is reminding me of the artist card. If you think about the world and the tower, so this is about kind of, the cycle of life, of birth and rebirth and death. Um, so there's abundance, and then everything comes down with the tower, and then there's a period where you have to be creative, plant new seeds, and create something new. And so that's something else that's coming through about you, that you are a person that really does that in your own life. There may be a lot of ways you do this. I'm even thinking, like, professionally, you could be someone that actually creates and then burns businesses, or emotionally, it could be with relationships or cycles in relationships. All kinds of applications, could be with art projects, but the point, I think, of this message is that you're a profoundly creative person, and with that overflow of love and compassion that you have, as well as your creativity, you're able to be kind of like this fountain of continually renewing positive energy. And if something is starting to die or starting to crumble, like with this tower, then you're able to just let that fall and then build something from the ashes. So there really is, you're the kind of person who would probably say things like, there is no such thing as failure, only learning, or, I didn't fail, I just found 100 ways it didn't work. Those kinds of statements or philosophies on life. And you really do make it work for you, and people see that and they're really impressed and drawn to it. So I think that's great, Pile One. Hope you like that message. Please leave me a like, share, or subscribe. And let me know if it resonated with you or even if it didn't. And I'll see you in the next reading. Okay, Pile Two with these little earrings. And we have what you don't see about yourself. So we have the Five of Swords, the Six of Swords, the Seven of Swords, okay, 5, 6, 7, the Well, the Three of Coins, and the Two of Wands. And then your message here is, I got in over my head. Okay. Let me tune in here for a second. Okay, so this is interesting because the first message came through with almost all major arcana, and the message there was, this is something just very stable and true about you always. And I'm getting the opposite message for you, Pile Two, that this is kind of a circumstantial, momentary phase that you're in right now. So don't take it too much to heart. But what it's saying that you're not seeing about yourself right now is that there are all kinds of kind of deep-seated like egoic issues that are coming up right now to be released, for you to move on from, for you to find a way to strategize out of, which is sometimes working for you and sometimes isn't. And you're really looking ahead and trying to figure out and look at things from all sides and figure out, okay, like, what's the deal here? And when I say ego issues, it might be like, you might notice some negative repeated patterns in your relationships, friendships, or romantic partnerships, or even work relationships. And you've gotten to the point where it's happened so many times that you can't ignore it anymore. You can't say it was just circumstantial, or, oh, it was because of that person. Well, if you have that same situation happening over and over and over, but you're the only common denominator, then maybe it's you. It's kind of the message. But don't click off yet, because this is really a loving message that's coming through, and it's saying, the reason you're noticing all this stuff, everybody's got their garbage, right, that you have to take out in your life. You're no better or worse than any other person, but you just haven't arrived yet. So, but with this progression here, the 5, 6, and the 7, there's also a message coming through of, you're making progress, you're going through this. You probably don't see the light at the end of the tunnel yet. You probably still are maybe a little disturbed by your own actions at times that you notice. But you're going to get there. You're going to get to this place where you've drawn up everything from the deep, dark well that you need to, and then you can be in this space of renewal, of a new beginning, of hope for the future. I really like this card. This is another bonus card, bonus major arcana from the Ethereal Visions deck. And I just love the artistry with this deck. Whoop. And then the message with the Three of Coins that I'm getting is that, so normally Three of Coins is about kind of like success, like working with others, but do you see these two figures here? I guess they're supposed to be shamans on this card. They look a little bit sinister. The message I'm getting is that even though it feels like look, I'm going to keep going with the storyline of maybe there's this repetitive pattern you've noticed in your relationships that isn't too healthy and seems to maybe kind of be coming from you in some senses. And so it might feel like the other people on the other end of your relationships are kind of like these shaman figures, like persecuting you or hurting you intentionally or just being terrible to you. But it's actually not the case. They're actually in partnership with you to work through these issues. And so even if it might seem like they're being negative or hurtful, they're holding up a mirror to you about what needs to be released in your own life. And so in that way, it's actually an act of love. It's an act of service. Of course, I'm not saying like abusive behavior is ever okay, but outside of that, these negative experiences you have are actually things that you're going to look back on in the future and be happy that you went through, because then you can release kind of this stuff that actually is holding you back. And I'm getting the sense that you've kind of let these issues go dormant. Like, I think you've been aware of them for a long time, but thought that you at least got to a certain level of health with them, that you didn't have to think about them all the time or keep working on them really, like they would just kind of work themselves out. But you're learning, no, actually, I do need to really try. Maybe I was deceiving myself a little bit with that point of view. But there is still hope and healing, and you're coming to the end of this process where you're able to really turn a corner. So that's what I'm getting for pile 2, what you don't see about yourself. Although I am getting, I think that you are kind of seeing it, but you're just not wanting to see it, if that makes sense. So like, the problem here isn't that you don't see this about yourself, it's that you don't want to believe what you're seeing. So that also, I think, is an encouraging message, pile 2, because you see it. A lot of people don't even see. So your struggle is just to believe yourself and trust your intuition. So that's actually a much smaller problem to solve than just not being aware at all. So for pile 2, okay, the star, yeah. Pile 2, anything else I missed that would be important for them to know? What they don't see about themselves for pile 2. Oh, I've got some flippers there. 3 of Cups at the bottom. I think that message is that you can count on like true partnership and friendship coming in for you. The World and 4 of Coins. And the Star. So the Star here to me is a clear message that there is hope, that this too shall pass. And again, with this message, you just got in a little over your head with this issue. It's okay. It's you're human. Don't beat yourself up about it. And you can conserve your energy right now for a little bit. If you're in a period where you need to hermit a little bit, or you need to just kind of figure all this stuff out, that's okay. Be patient with yourself. And the cycle will close. This learning that you've been through, this learning pattern, will come to an end, and there will be brighter days ahead, again, here with the Star. So I hope that resonated, pile 2. Leave me a like, share, or subscribe, or comment. Let me know if it resonated for you, or even if it didn't. I'd be curious to know. Let me know if there's any other topic you'd like to see me cover, and private reading info is in the description box. Thanks, pile 2. Have a good day. All right. Now we have pile 3 with the throat coat cough drop. Let's see what you've got here. Upside down. Okay. Queen of Swords. The Empress, okay. 3 of Wands. 7 of Wands. Page of Coins. 10 of Wands. And your message is, I thought you couldn't see beneath the surface. What don't you see about yourself? I'm going to put this 10 of Wands up here with the other wands. Page of Coins. Oh, this is cute. Okay, what you don't see about yourself. Do you see how innocent and non-threatening and beautiful this figure is in this card, who's just like, communing with the animals and whatever? This is kind of how you appear to people at times, like just totally non-threatening, maybe like childlike and sweet. And it's not that you're not that, but actually what's more correct about who you are is you're Queen of Swords plus the Empress. Like, yikes, look out. That person would level someone if someone treated them as if they're this kind of like childlike figure. Not in a mean way to level somebody, but just be like, really? You think that this is the level I'm on? The 7-year-old out in the flowers? Like, I plant these flowers, I water them with my tears. I know how to create vast gardens on my own. So yeah, I'm kind of getting that's the thing that you don't see about yourself predominantly is how you give off this really non-threatening aura. Because, I mean, I get the sense that you actually know that you're this person. You know that you have this strength inside you and that you're not to be messed with and that you're very protective and clear-minded and helpful to those around you and nurturing. You see that, you know that, but for some reason that perception isn't making it out into the world. Like, people aren't noticing that about you right away. So I don't think you always see that people aren't aware that you're like that. And so then you probably are surprised, or they're surprised when you show up like this and they're expecting, the 7-year-old with these little pointy shoes. Check those out. What else aren't you seeing about yourself? 3 of Wands, 7 of Wands, 10 of Wands. So with this, again, there's kind of like this progression here. We had a different progression with swords in the last deck. But what this is about, what you don't see is how where you are now is directly the result of your planning and hard work. You looked ahead, you kind of mapped out where you wanted to go, you made sure to hold the high ground and maintain whatever progress you'd made, and then get to the end of the cycle where, so normally 10 of Wands traditionally is a picture of someone carrying a really heavy load on their back. And so the message of the 10 of Wands is often, you're really overburdened, but you're coming to the point where you can kind of put it down. So that is the traditional meaning. But what I'm getting here, especially from the image, do you see that there's like this skull and then a tree has grown from it? So it reminds me a lot of the message of this Empress, actually, very similar. Like, you've kind of made it. Not to say there won't ever be any more work to be done, pile 3, but this work, this fiery intention setting and defensiveness that you put in, and defensiveness I mean in a positive way, like maintaining your progress, has led to this beautiful tree growing from what would have been possibly like something dead, or that people would have seen as, not possible to make anything out of, this skull. So this could be any number of things, but I'm just getting the sense that you've undergone a process recently, which I think you've been aware of this. You've been aware that you've been in this really intense process. How would you not know? You've been aware that maybe things in your life have spectacularly fallen apart in a way that's been really difficult for you, or you've had some pretty significant failures that you weren't expecting, either at work or in your personal life. And others around you may have noticed this and maybe even been like, oh man, what's she going to do now? What's he going to do now? What are they going to do now? I guess they just have to cut their losses and move on. But no, you know that you're the Empress, that you're the Queen of Swords, and you found a way to use that happened as soil, as fertilizer to grow this new thing. And so yeah, I think that's really powerful, really really a great message about you too. I'm curious why, what am I missing here? And the thing that I'm not clear about in your reading, pile 3, is what of this do you really not see about yourself? Because I kind of think that you do see this about yourself. So, 7 of coins. Okay. Anything else? The Emperor. Okay. And 10 of Cups in reverse. Okay, so here's the deal. You don't see this about yourself because you haven't totally gotten to your 100% happiness and fulfillment in your life. And so you don't see that you are in the position you need to be for that to happen yet. So because it's almost like in your mind, you would think, well, if I really have resolved these issues within myself, if I really have come into my own, then my life would match that. Well, not always, maybe, and not immediately. And so it's just what you don't see is that you've done the work, at least the work that's required of you for right now, and your life is about to shift into place to match that. The other message I'm getting here about what you don't see about yourself, or why you don't see this. So 7 of coins or 7 of pentacles. So I'm interpreting this intuitively. I mean, I think the message that came out of this for me is you haven't seen it because you've still been in the midst of this fire. It hasn't been until very recently that you've been coming out of this really difficult time. And so you kind of haven't seen the forest for the trees yet, but you certainly will. And your intuition and your sense, your higher mind definitely knows that you've accomplished this and you've gotten here. And then the Emperor. And so what are you trying to tell us, Emperor? The first message I'm getting from this is just kind of a reinforcement of the Empress. Like you've mastered both sides of yourself, actually. And it's not just the feminine energy side, it's also the masculine energy side. And you're bringing that more into balance than you ever have in your life. And there's something about an Emperor figure in your life here as well. I'm gonna ask this deck to clarify on that. What do we need to know about this Emperor figure here for pile 3? I'm getting a couple different scenarios in my mind already. I just want to give the clearest message. What do we need to know? What does pile 3 need to know about the Emperor figure? Page of Pentacles at the bottom. 8 of Swords. Is this reversed? Yeah, 8 of Swords reversed. 9 of Pentacles. 2 of Cups reversed. Okay. 8 of Swords reversed. 9 of Pentacles. And 2 of Cups reversed. So there's some person, I'm getting this is a love interest in your life, where the partnership you've had with them has been broken or severed in some way, or maybe you're in separation from this person in one way, or you've broken up with them. But there's been something about this relationship that has really helped you get into this state. The singleness, the providing for yourself has really helped you to work on bringing some of these other energies into balance. And then also realizing that you're not stuck. You can create whatever life you want. And the ironic thing is, by you doing this Emperor person is also realizing, hey, I'm not stuck. I can do whatever I want. Just because this partnership didn't come together the way I thought it would, or wasn't what I wanted, or whatever, I can create my own life. So it's almost like whether the two of you ever come back together in any kind of romantic way, you've been this catalyst for each other to realize, I'm in control of my own life, actually. Like, just because I really want that person doesn't mean that I have to go after them so hard and make my life about them. Could be one interpretation. Another one could be like, what they think about me does not define me, does not define my worth or my life. Like, they are not my future, I am my future. Then I need to plan that, and then maybe I can bring them into it if that works. But we'll just see. So, and actually, I want to see if, let's get an actual message from this Emperor person to you. For pile 3, and we'll close the reading with this, I think, unless any pressing question comes up. For pile 3, what message would this Emperor have for the viewer? I really need to rewrite these cards. They're on just like slips of paper. They're very difficult to shuffle. So this might take a minute. There we go. Okay, so we have bottom of the deck, I love the attention you shower on me. Then we have the song, The Things I Should Have Done When I Was Your Man. I think it's a Bruno Mars song. I'm not sure if that's actually even the title. I'm too ashamed to face you, and I like you just not enough. So what I'm getting from this person is, for sure they realize that they didn't act right in this relationship with you. Whether or not they'll ever actually admit that to you is a whole nother story, pile 3. But maybe they were one of the people, oh, I'm just getting this. Maybe they were one of the people that thought, oh, look at this sweet little innocent thing. I could have some fun with this person. And then they got this. And they're like, whoa, I'm in over my head. This is beyond my pay grade. I do not know how to pull a person of this caliber and keep them or do right by them or anything. And I think that's actually where this I like you just not enough comes through. Please don't have your feelings hurt over this. I mean, I know it can never be a nice thing to hear this, but what I'm getting is that this person, in terms of who they want to date, like they want to be with this kind of a person who is maybe just more on the simple and childlike side. It doesn't require as much of them. And let's talk about this for a second, can we? An emperor who wants to be with a child. I mean, what is that about? What is that about? And I'm not meaning like literally children, like someone that wants to, date minors, but someone that emotionally is way less developed than them. I mean, it tells you a lot about this person, right? And not great things. And I think that's where this comes in. I'm too ashamed to face you. So continuing with this story, it's likely that this person is the kind of person that would never go for somebody kind of on their level because of what it would require of them, like the treatment that person would require and the maturity. They'd rather want to be, having all the power in the relationship and being able to be controlling. And so had they known really that you were this person, that you were actually their equal, they probably wouldn't have given you a shot. So it kind of surprised and shocked them and brought in, I think, a lot of lessons that they didn't ask for and weren't wanting. But I think you got some lessons too, pile 3, similarly, that you weren't asking for and weren't wanting, because you saw this person as an equal always, and you were like, okay, well, let's try this on equal footing. And then when they were trying to treat you like this, you're like, whoa, hell no, what's going on here? So that's a very specific message. I hope it resonates for somebody. If you don't get the kind of romantic part of this reading, the answer to the question, what you don't see about yourself, is that your hard work is paying off. You have stepped into these very together, very more evolved energies, and you can trust that at least for this moment that you're exactly where you need to be. You've been doing the work and what you need to do, and your life will very soon match that posture that you have. Okay, pile 3? So I hope you enjoyed that reading. I certainly enjoyed reading it for you. Leave me a like, share, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment. Let me know if it resonated or if it didn't, especially with this one. I'm really curious if you resonated at all with that storyline that came through at the end, because that seemed very specific and maybe for a specific person. So have a great day, night, evening, and see you next time. Bye-bye.